My taxes are just like yours, too high. Now, but I would be willing to pay, or right on the bottom line where it says schools, bridges, fire hydrants, whatever the case might be. I would be willing to say, to give my sheriff's department and magistrate's office X amount of dollars in order to have good law enforcement. What's another $25 or $30 if that would benefit us? This man said he's running cars with 200,000 miles on them. Got to Utahville to a place down there, the most embarrassing thing they ever went in, and both cars wouldn't work. Two cars wouldn't work. They need more. If we go have good law enforcement, we got to pay these guys. We got to have more of them. Nobody wants to hear that. Mr. Gregory, you don't want to hear that. I don't either. But it's got to happen.
Hey, well, look, listen. The sheriff said that we need to do our part. Put your lawnmower up. Put your security camera out. The natural progression of that is when the security camera don't work, you're going to go find the guy. But when that don't work, you're going to go have other problems with the guy, armed conflict with the guy. You know, that's where we stand. It seems to be better we put our money towards a good lawyer for when we do get those.
My brother-in-law has got a 6-foot fence around his house. He's got cameras everywhere. He had a man come and look at the camera. They knew who he was. They said, we can't pick up this man. We can't prosecute him. Why is that? You don't have 4 no trespassing signs on your fence. You need to have one on every corner. That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard of. But I reckon that's the law. So that's
okay, I don't know what I can do, period.
Give me an example.
To protect our property.
So I go home tonight, somebody walking out my front door to television. There's nobody over my house right now.
What are we supposed to do?
My neighbors are not home.
What do you want to do? You can call the police. You can take a gun and stop them at gunpoint if they are in your house. That's what you're wanting to hear.
No, that's not what I want to hear.
That is the law. You can protect your home and yourself and your property at your home. Okay?
If they're in your home.
If they are on your property.
On your property.
Sure. The first thing and the problem we have with a lot of thefts, people don't have their serial numbers. We recover property all the time in drug houses, 3 and 4 televisions deep. If we don't have your serial number, we don't know who it belongs to.
Okay, great suggestion. That's what we're asking.
Guns, other appliances. I go through my house with a digital camera and I photograph every serial number. Now, God, I hope I can find the disc if my son says but I tell people this every day. Another thing is, when you get that new 50-inch flat screen, don't push the box out by the street. You know,
What if you find your golf cart with the serial number?
well, number one, you should, in that situation, if I found my golf cart, I would dial 911 and I would follow them until law enforcement got there. Hope
That's a
the
good question.
situation.
I want to ask while ago. Captain Green said about the lawnmower got stolen down the street. I mean, if you have a crime watch program, okay, well, a lot of people will be afraid to chase those people, but if we chase it, and they
Not chase, I said follow.
I know. Well,
What if we have to follow them real fast? They could be trying to get away.
if they got to go 100 mile an hour and chase them behind, they're going to get speed up. So then you get in a situation, if they're running 80 miles an hour, 90, I mean, what should you do then?
Just
Then they can
follow
get
them.
away. Do you take off? Well,
And get as much detail of the vehicle, you tag them as much as you can, get as much detail.
I realize you're going to get fast. But they're going to get away then if you don't do something, they're going to get away, you're going to lose the whole
A
thing.
good rule of thumb is you can't use deadly force to protect property alone. And a vehicle is deadly force in a high-speed situation.
Fear for your life, just shoot somebody.
If you catch somebody in the act of doing it, can you pull out a pistol and detain them until you can get law?
In the act of doing what now? Breaking in your house?
Well, you catch somebody stealing your car,
On
you
your
know what
property,
can
on
you
your property, not in your house. When they come to my house, they're dead.
can you detain him with a gun?
You can't stop them. If they try to leave, can you stop them?
Hold
If they got you.
Now, let me tell you something. About 7 or 8 years ago, I charged a police officer, a law enforcement officer in uniform, for firing a gun at a moving car simply because it was a stolen car. The car was not in a risk of anybody. Nobody was in a risk of serious bodily injury or death. The police officer was not in risk of serious bodily injury or death. I charged him and convicted him. So if I'm gonna charge a police officer and convict a police officer for shooting at a person in a stolen car, what's gonna happen to, other than you, what's gonna happen to you?
But if
Well,
it's-
and that goes back to Mr. Blake's point, that you might be able to detain that person, but if that person starts walking away, you better not fire at that person.
I don't really know, I caught this the last little bit solicitor said. I agree with some of what he said. The sheriff, I don't know was that what they said. I'm mad at something about money. And I agree with them on that, they do need money. But it's only one way to get more money, that's out your pockets. And that's
That's
the
what I'm saying.
village. And whether or not, that's gonna happen this year, I don't know, but we went through 5 or 6 bad years, tough. The sheriff all about his cars, now he got some old cars, but he also got some new cars. How many new people, y'all got, and how many is coming?
We got a total of 50, and we don't know what we're getting.
50 so much cars.
Yes, sir.
So, all their cars are not broke down first thing. And I'm cautious of more is coming right shortly. And, but from my point of view, sometimes I see people, sheriff pick somebody up, they go to court. Well, the criminal will beat us back home tonight. I mean, he's out for a weekend now. Now, who falls there, I don't know. But I've been speaking from one councilman looking over the view. And every department needs more money. Not only the sheriff and the solicitor, but everybody needs money. Now, whether or not we want to make one department suffer to help two, that's the question.